Hey guys, what's up? Swapnil here, and I'm back with a new video. Welcome back to the channel. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. So today, we're talking about 2016 for a bit, because we're going to look back at all those great smartphones. We had the Galaxy S7 Edge, which came out with that beautiful edge, and finally the lack of camera bump on the back. But not everything in 2016 was a victory. Not every company had the S7 Edge, or the OnePlus 3, or the OnePlus 3T, or those great flagships. LG unfortunately dropped their modular G5, which ended up being, well, basically a flop. There wasn't really anything good about it, and basically the G5 was a complete failure. Sorry LG, but there is hope because now they're back. They are back because it's 2017. It's back with a new flagship refresh because today we're talking about my top 3 favorite things about the LG G6. This is LG's path to redemption. Alright guys, coming in at number 3 of my top 3 favorite things about the LG G6 is in fact the operating system. So the LG G6 ships with Android 7.0 Nougat and features a very clean version of Android. It has a lot of cool features and a lot of great software optimization options. The lock screen is pretty cool and makes use of that actual 18:9 build because everything in its operating system is based on squares. So you can take things like the lock screen, when you swipe through it, you actually get a kind of double paneled unlock. Also, a lot of LG apps like the calendar and stuff can be dropped into landscape mode and turned into even squares. This also carries over to things like multitasking, or if you want to do kind of like the 2 apps in one page kind of thing and drop both them. Each one encompasses its own square. So instead of having kind of a smushed version of each one, you can have an even amount of space for both. Now the overall operating system is really smooth. There are 2 options. You can go with the standard option, which is remove the app tray for an iPhone-esque look and giving you all the apps on the following page. I personally use that just because the other option, the one with the app drawer, takes up so much space in the bottom. And honestly, for a phone so beautiful and so beautifully built, I don't want to have to waste screen real estate for an app drawer when I can just swipe to the right and get all my apps right there. Overall, LG's created a very, very clean version of Android. Compared to Samsung's TouchWiz, I mean, this thing just flies, it looks great, the icon pack is nice. It's not perfect stock Android. I mean, it's no Pixel, it's no Motorola's, I guess the closest to what Pixel has. But this is definitely beautiful, everything flows well, compared to like 4 years ago where LG had that super creepy UI. I mean, this thing is just beautiful, gorgeous. I love the way the icons look, everything with the kind of curved, squared off look to it. LG doesn't also feel the need to double up on everything. I know there is a gallery app and a pictures app, but there's not like repeats of everything. Like they didn't make their own smart operating system. There's no Bixby to your Google Assistant. Like, there's no need for them to remake this stuff. They're basically re-optimizing everything Google has, which is great. I don't understand why Samsung felt the need to make Bixby when Google Home and Google Assistant already exist for basically doing the exact same things. So I love how Google is working really well together with LG's UI and how LG's making use of all those cool things, like the home key button actually looks like the Pixel home button and has that kind of bubbly color ball look to it, which I love. So overall, great job LG for your operating system and the way you made it look. My second favorite thing about the LG G6 is its camera, because by God, that thing is beautiful. LG's always been great with their cameras. I've personally used phones like the V10, the G3, and I've loved all of them. But this year, they've taken that kind of dual lens approach in a great way. I mean, the camera app is just smooth, transitioning between both lenses is awesome, and both are great. Spec-wise, one of the lenses has a f1.8 while the other is an f2.4. But both are 13 megapixel, so it's not like you're getting a lower megapixel counted camera like last year. Dual LED flashes have been pretty much standard nowadays, so that's there of course. Also, shooting in 4K is pretty standard too, so the G6 of course can shoot in 4K. In terms of video, the primary camera does have OIS, while the secondary ultra-wide does not. So if you're shooting video, I would highly recommend keeping it to the primary camera unless you're able to stabilize it with a gimbal, or if you have super steady hands for the ultra-wide. I would not recommend walking and filming with the ultra-wide. And in terms of pictures, there's a lot of cool things LG's thrown in. There's a lot of the software tweaks that they have, of course. Every phone has those kind of like Instagram-esque filters, but even just the raw photos look beautiful. I've went around town taking couples of pictures, both with the regular lens and the ultra-wide, and I gotta say, the ultra-wide is actually very useful. If you've got a giant landscape or a giant building you want to get in but can't fit in, or a group of friends who want you to take a picture of them, this is really useful. So I love the fact that the ultra-wide is present there and kind of creates like a zoomed out fisheye. It's not quite fisheye, it's not that weird looking, but it is nice. I mean, it's good to have that kind of feature. So overall, I loved taking photos with the G6. Everything turned out so nice, super clear. It is a little bit iffy in the dark. I don't recommend it for low light photography, but nowadays there aren't any phones that are really good for low light photography anyway. And also, if you're a major photography nut, I definitely recommend this camera. It is definitely better than the G5. And I know that Samsung felt the need to not upgrade their camera because they thought that, oh, the S7 was just so good, we don't have to make any changes for the S8 aside from maybe a new app for it. But the LG's taken a step in the right direction. I mean, they've proven to us that you can keep improving this technology, and they've definitely made it better. So kudos for LG for one, having an amazing camera, and for making an actual useful and really good dual camera experience. And my number one favorite thing about the LG G6, which I'm sure a lot of you viewers are raving about, is that screen. 2017 is the age of the bezel-less phone. I know we kicked it off with the Xiaomi Mi Mix in 2016, but now both Samsung and LG, two of the greatest smartphone titans, are cutting down their bezels. And LG's done an excellent job. They don't have that curved display, but even without that, they've managed to round the corners of their phone, creating a beautiful, beautiful effect. And the top and bottom forehead and chin bezels are basically absent. So now you have this gorgeous display, and it constitutes so much of the phone. I mean, you're getting up so much real estate compared to phones like the OnePlus 3T or the S7 Edge. You're getting a smaller phone with a bigger display. So you have a 5.5 inch phone in hand versus a 5.8 inch phone in hand. And basically the 5.8 inch one surprisingly feels smaller, because that's the age we're in. We're in an age where display size does not correlate with phone size. We can have a super large phone display with a very small body because we can cut down on the bezels. And basically, we're getting that one step closer to that day when we're going to have just a screen in our hand, where we can just hold up a screen and say, wow, there's nothing around this. Like, it's just pure screen. That's like the future, and we're just maybe steps away from reaching there. I mean, those steps might be years. They might be the end of this quarter. Probably not, but they might be probably years, honestly. But we're getting closer, and I can't wait, and I'm super excited to see all the other phones that adopt this policy. But LG's done an excellent job. Their displays are always beautiful. This features a QHD display again. The great thing about this is they didn't just take a kind of overlay and cover up the corners. The actual LED is curved. So it helps for bracing impact. So if you drop your phone, the actual curve absorbs the impact. So if you think about it, if you're a physics student, about impulse and when you kind of drop a ball on the ground, that moment where it hits the ground, think about that, but with a phone. So when you drop the phone on the ground and the corner hits the bottom, because it's curved, the force kind of spread out over that curve versus it going up that one point and cracking over. So LG's managed to create a beautifully displayed device. Overall, I feel like the LG G6 is a step in the right direction. I mean, when LG came out with the whole friends concept, they actually ended up making a lot of enemies, ironically, because no one was really a fan of that. But now, and their new approach with the LG G6, I feel like they've adapted to the audience, they listen to our calls, and we now have a premium feeling device, something that's made of glass and metal and is directly competing with titans like Samsung and Apple, and kind of facing off. So I definitely feel confident for anyone to purchase this phone. If you're getting a new phone in this quarter and you're thinking, I don't know if I want to go the S8 or the G6, honestly, you can't go wrong with either device. The G6 is very beautiful. I've played with both phones myself, and I feel like the G6 is better to hold in the hand in terms of sturdiness. Of course, the S8 has the better looking display and the kind of more futuresque feel to it, but you can't go wrong with the G6. I mean, in terms of UI, camera, everything just falls together perfectly. So I'm super excited to see how the LG G6 holds up over a long period of time. If you guys are interested in seeing how I feel about the G6 a couple months from now, Be sure to subscribe to the channel, keep following me on social media, stay up to date on latest tech, and I'll keep you guys posted on how I like the phone and how I feel about it. If you guys have any questions or any concerns, feel free to leave them in the comments below and I'll get back to you guys soon. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.